Have you seen the star? Today is the feast of the Epiphany. And in the Gospel, we read about the wise men who followed the star. And the star took them to where the child Jesus was born. So my question is, have you seen the star? And the truth is, all of us, in a sense, have seen the star because we're Catholic, we're Christian. We've heard about Jesus Christ. We were fortunate to be baptized into the faith. So in a sense, we've all seen the star. But then the question is, how well are you following the star? Do you lose sight of the star? And of course, from time to time, we all lose sight of the star because that is part of the journey. In the Gospel of today's Mass, the wise men, they lost sight of the star. Now, that star, it represents a calling. We are all called by God. The wise men felt, when they saw the star, they felt they were being called by God to go to the stable and meet the Christ child. And that's what they did. They followed the call. But we're all equally called, every one of us. But we follow the call differently because we have different roles in life. So then, in a sense, we have to discover the call within the call. In other words, we all have the same call, but then we have to discover what role in life will we have as we follow the call. My role is the priesthood. I'm called to the priesthood, and in the priesthood, I follow the great call of God. But many of you are married, and through the vocation of marriage, you are following the great call of God. Now, we read in the Gospel that the wise men, they were obviously excited as they followed the call because they were carrying gifts. And this represented their excitement. This represented their gratitude. And so it's a very exciting call. As we get to know the call, we begin to discover it's the most exciting call in the world. Now, the reason for the church, and the reason for the priesthood, and the reason for the sisters is because the church and religious, their purpose is to keep reminding people of the call, keep reminding people of the star. And that's why we have Mass every Sunday, Mass every day, because most of you are out there in the world busy trying to make a living, and you have to focus on other things. So the church is here, and the priesthood is here, and the sister is here to try to remind people of the call, not to lose sight of the call. And that's why we're here, because there is no greater call. And the truth is that this call, this journey, it's the most exciting journey in the world. And that's what Jesus meant. One time he made a statement which seemed rather harsh at the time. He said, "To those who have, more will be given until they grow rich. To those who have not, they will lose even the little that they have. To those who have, more will be given until they grow rich. To those who feel the call, who get a glimpse of the call, they'll want more of it. They'll put more energy into it, and they'll go richer and richer and richer. But those who lose sight of the call, they could lose everything." Like in today's Gospel, the wise men, they lost sight, in a sense they lost sight of the call, but the star disappeared. And they could have given up. They could have said, well, the star was an illusion. But they didn't. They stayed with it. And the star reappeared. And as you stay with it, you will discover the excitement of the call. Over the last week, we received a letter, many of us received a letter from a couple in the parish, David and Angelica Grisafi. They're well known to many of you, but not all of you. They're a young couple, 2 young children, But they went to Medjugorje last July, and many people go to Medjugorje because Our Lady has appeared there, or appears there to certain people. But they had a very powerful experience. And Angelica wrote a letter to many people describing her experience. And really what Angelica was talking about there was she's carrying the excitement of the call. And she has received that excitement really through Mary. Mary somehow, through Mary and her journey with Mary, Angelica has caught the excitement of the call. But really there is no greater excitement. I've been a priest for 48 years, and I'm following the great call through the priesthood. But I can honestly say, as the older I get, the more excited I am about the call. And my excitement grows, it deepens. And people go on long journeys. They take long trips, talk about great places they've been, often pay big money. But then you go on a great trip and you see all those exciting places, and then the journey's over and you come back home, and then there's kind of a letdown. But the thing about this journey, it's the greatest journey of all, because the thing is, it never ends. And there's no letdown. And that's the beauty of it. And that's my experience of it. There's no letdown. The excitement grows as you stay with the call. And that's why this is Vocation Awareness Week, and we're ideas to try to encourage people to enter the priesthood and enter the religious life and be a nun. And of course, these are two roles, but as I said, these are two calls within the bigger call. And so we're trying to encourage young men to consider the priesthood, young women to consider the religious life, and that's the purpose of this Sunday. But one last thing, I went to Rome last September. My first time in Rome, I was there for a week. I was part of a pilgrimage from Ireland to Rome, and I was availing of a gift that this parish gave me. It gave me 2 tickets to Rome, so I had a great time in Rome, and I was very impressed with Rome, the magnificence of Rome, the magnificence of everything. You could feel the faith, the power of our faith in Rome. But really what my trip to Rome did for me was simply convince me that the journey I am, this journey of faith, this call, there is nothing greater in life. It's the greatest journey any person could ever take. Amen.